This is Two Dudes and a Six Pack with your hosts, Grayson and Chris.
Tight, yeah!
That's good.
Join us as we cover a six-pack of topics from booze
Excellent.
to pop culture.
Inconceivable!
So, pull up a chair and crack open a beer as we discuss the best
Here's to feeling good all the time.
of the worst.
Yeah, well, that's just like your opinion, man.
And we are back for season 2, episode 2. You didn't think we could do it. We had our doubts ourselves, but shame on everyone. We are back and bigger, better than ever. And we are here to talk about the upcoming holiday season because it's almost in full swing. So before we get into any of those glorious topics, you got me, myself in good old Arizona, and our good friend Chris in Michigan.
What's up, guys? Definitely freezing weather here, so the holidays are definitely upon us, unfortunately. Slipping and sliding, car wrecks. It's nuts.
Is it snowing already?
Yeah, it basically just finally opened up. My wife's dad got the snowmobile out in Gaylord already, so it's there's no getting away from it at this point. It's here.
Man, it was a chilly 82 degrees yesterday. Yeah, but anyway, so this episode's gonna be released, like a week or so before Thanksgiving, as we all kind of gear up for the holidays, because the Halloween kind of reminds you that the holidays are coming, but Thanksgiving is like that official, like, bop over the head. It's like you're stuck with this for the next 6 weeks, so you better get used to it.
Yeah.
And so
I always think Halloween is like the AAA of holidays, really. Like when you're a kid, everybody gets to play. You can get kind of geared up for Halloween. As an adult, it's sort of like a preseason game. You just kind of go through the motions. With Thanksgiving, it's like there's no turn back. The holiday circuit's there. It's game time, I guess, for family stuff.
I like that, yeah. And so this whole episode is going to be about making the best of the worst of the beginning of the holidays, seeing your families. Maybe that's good, maybe that's not so good. Maybe you're the drunk uncle. I don't maybe. And then we're going to get into some booze and some food at the end of it, because that is one of the best parts of the holidays is the food. So you better believe we're covering that.
Oh, yeah.
But anyways, so as custom, we're going to get into our first drink of the evening, day, whatever. And so, Chris, what do you got for your beverage number uno?
Okay, I'm going to lose instant credibility when I tell you where this beer came from. But then hopefully I'll gain it back. It is a Budweiser beer.
Oh, man.
Oh, man.
On the episode.
Right, exactly. I can hear everybody just tuning out right now. But no, I found a bottle of their 1933 Repeal Reserve. I don't know if you've seen the commercials around this, but
I have, yeah.
Yeah, so again, it's a bit of a marketing play. I picked it because family time, it's guaranteed somebody's going to have some Budweiser or the like. The swill is going to be flowing in full effect. But I found this one and was like, you know what? I kind of wanted to give this a try. Knock me over the head if they got me on the marketing play. That's fine. But I dig it because it came in like an old-fashioned Steiny style bottle. And it boasts a burly 6.1 ABV for a Budweiser. That's kind of impressive. So again, like I said, originally it's like, oh boy, here comes the Budweiser. But with the 1933 Repeal Reserve, I'm gonna give it a shot right now and see how this is.
Now, is it a twist off, or do they actually give you you have to bottle open it?
That's a good question. I just used a bottle opener on it. I'm not sure if it would have been a twist off or not. Good news out of the gate is it actually looks like a lager. It's not your typical cup of piss, basically. It's nice amber kind of color. It's actually poured with like a legit head on it. So
okay, well, you have some that's good. It's looking all right so far.
Well, let's give it a try here. Wow. Actually, you know what? That's not half bad for being a Budweiser product. For holiday beer too, I kind of dig it because it's got that dark kind of amber color, so there's some caramel in there definitely. It's a lot smoother, but it's got a good sort of crispness that I think kind of made, put Budweiser on the map. It's, they're kind of known for that. But ultimately, it definitely, I would never know this is a Budweiser if somebody had just handed this glass to me and told me to try it.
Okay. Would you say it's more along the Michelob
Yes.
line of flavor?
Yep.
Okay. That explains some of it. But it's funny that you're going with the old classic because the beer I'm starting out with is kind of similar. I saw this and I'd been wanting to try it, but it's the Guinness 200th Anniversary Export Stout. And it's
Nice.
The special, 200 years in America. And it's brewed with black patent malt. And so it's got a nice, it's your standard Guinness kind of glass bottle, but it has a nice kind of age-looking red, white, and blue sticker on it, so very patriotic. But I don't know, some of the Guinness like experimental beers I've really dug, and then other ones I think are just absolutely terrible. But there's kind of no middle ground with them. But I don't know. I figured I'd give this a whirl too.
Yeah, right.
This one is a bottle crack top, whatever. It kind of smells like a slightly muted version of the extra foreign stout.
Yeah, yep.
But there's you pour it and it's like 80% foam.
Right, you gotta let
So
that. You gotta let that settle.
You gotta not be a dope when you're pouring it, I was just a complete idiot when I was like, I'm just just gonna hold my bottle straight, and that backfired royally. So
Get the spoon out.
I'm gonna have to let So I'm gonna have to let that sit for just a second. It's actually it's got a nice. There's no widget in it, so it's not creamy at all. But it's got a nice. It's kind of like when you first poured like that Belgian triple or whatever, or like a Duvel. It's got that kind of foamy, creamy head on the top of it. But all right, this is like just a little side thing that I picked up at the store. So while I let these bubbles go down, but I was going through the checkout thing and I saw how like Red Bull has like those really tall, skinny cans or whatever.
Yep.
But so right next to the checkout, they have Star Wars Space Punch. And it's these tall cylinders, and they had different like characters on them. And so I got the one with the Death Trooper on it, just because I think he looks cool. But there's like a TIE Fighter and there's Princess Leia, and I was kind of hoping for a Yoda one. I feel like it'll make you smart, right? But
it's got to.
I figure I'd save it and crack it open on here. It's only 20 calories per can. Wow.
There you go.
Yeah.
Kid friendly too, right? And non-alcoholic.
Yeah. It's kind of energy drink, not really. It's got some B12 in it, so maybe I'll be able to get.
Yeah, there you go. It's got vitamins in it, man. It's gonna be good.
It tastes a little funky, but
It's probably got that weird energy drink chemically kind of taste in there.
There's a little and not too carbonated either. But this is collector's edition number 13 Death Trooper. So apparently there's at least 13.
Man, you probably shouldn't have opened that.
I know. What am I doing? I'm kind of surprised. There was actually a General Grievous can, which kind of surprised me because I thought they've been trying to like push away from prequel stuff.
Yeah,
But,
right. It's almost like they half want to forget that even happened.
Yeah. Speaking of that, did you hear that they had just announced today that Rian Johnson will be taking control of a completely new trilogy after Episode 9?
I did not. That's interesting.
They announced it just today that on the the 10th that Rian Johnson, director of Episode 8, will be like writing and directing like an entire trilogy.
Wow.
So,
dude, that's
obviously Disney is happy with whatever he did.
Yeah, right. Exactly. Good for him.
Yeah. But if you think about it, he's like the first director that hasn't had like major issues, like being fired.
Yeah, right. Exactly. Yeah, it's been a mess for a
Yeah.
bunch of other directors in that franchise. When is it going to take place?
Kind of just. They haven't
No
said
details?
anything about what it is, or they're just Ryan Johnson directing a trilogy, basically.
Okay, all right,
So
that's enough. I mean, then people are just going to buy it anyways. You know.
yeah, they probably don't want to like confuse people since you already have this episode 9, and then the Han Solo movie that comes out in May next year.
Oh yeah.
Which should be, I don't know. I like Ron Howard, so we'll see. But anyways, I finally that the head's down in this Guinness beer. Hopefully, I didn't kill my taste buds with the Star Wars Space Punch.
Right.
I don't know if the future Space Punch and the 200th anniversary American Stout or whatever is going to work, but let's check it out. It it tastes very similar to the Extra Foreign Stout. It's not as malty as that. It almost tastes like they cut the Extra Foreign Stout with the regular Guinness.
Interesting.
And just was like, let's just do that. Because honestly, it's actually only 6% alcohol or ABV, which kind of caught me off guard. I figured since it's an extra stout that it'd be higher,
Right.
In the alcohol content. Because I think that Extra Foreign Stout, I'm just totally ballparking, but I think it's closer to 9. It could be way off, but
Yeah, I'm not sure. I mean, hey, good for Guinness. That Extra Foreign Stout is really good. And,
yeah,
if it's coming close to that, sacrifice on the ABV, make it a little bit more like a session beer, then there you go.
yeah. I've always wondered with the Extra Foreign Stout, how many people during St. Patrick's Day that don't really know
that
what
just
beer to
get
buy other than
straight
just buy
tanked.
Guinness that just accidentally get that? Yeah, and they're like, wait, this isn't right. What is this?
We've all been there, man. I remember the first time I got a bunch of the Founders Dirty Bastard. I was talking about this on the last show, but that's a burley beer. And early on, like, I wasn't even thinking about checking, into that kind of stuff, and like it just hit you. Like I'm like maybe midway through number 4 out of this, 6 there,
yeah, it's like ooh,
with like no
man,
food,
yeah.
and then you're just light switches, and you're just like gone.
That was one of those things when I first had the Bell's Two Hearted Ale. Like at that point, like IPAs hadn't taken over the beer world, and so you weren't, it's just like, okay, this one's bitter. It's an India Pale Ale. Okay, that's interesting. Let's look up what IPA means and why it's called that. But then, yeah, with that one, it's super high, and then all of a sudden you're just like, oh man, I should not feel this way. This is. It's like, okay, I just drank 2 32 ounces. How much is 64? It's actually like 10 beers. That were you? Yeah, I think you. For when we were gearing up for my wedding, and we all met at Crunchies. Were you there with us? I can't remember who all was at Crunchies when we kind of like set up our rule or what was going to happen for my bachelor party, and we went to Crunchies. We got like the pictures of
Yeah, we got the buckets, didn't we? Didn't we get like
the bucket of beer and the bucket of the most disappointing hamburger sliders
the bucket
like
of
in the
fries?
history of
And
mankind.
the fries, I think, were okay. Everything, for those that are out of the loop here, Crunchies, you can order beverages and food by the bucket, which sounds like an amazing thing. But in reality, it's like it leaves a little bit to be desired, I think.
The bucket is legitimately like a wash bucket that your janitor from high school would walk
Straight
around
up. They went to
with.
Home
This is, like,
Depot
not
and just
in,
bought
yeah.
a bunch of buckets, and now they use them to store food in. But man,
Yeah.
dude, those sliders were like just there's like no meat on those.
No, it was like a Hershey's Kiss size amount of meat.
And
in the
just-
middle of it.
just
You're like what?
Completely
What is this,
fried
man?
to a crisp.
Yeah.
They need to work on
Yeah.
their slider skills. This was before the sliders really took off too, though.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Of course, and they also wouldn't let you get like the burley beers because you have to have at least like 4 people to order the bucket of beer, and you could only go like quote unquote domestic. You couldn't do any micros or whatever. But although I think they included in Michigan, a lot of times they'll include Labatt as a domestic, just because it's. And I don't know about you, but I would rather take a Labatt over most domestics that are on the list.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I'm gonna assume that we went with the Labatt Blue as the bucket of beer.
That sounds about right. I doubt we got anything like Coors Light or anything like that.
Oh, we would not have been a light
No
beer.
way.
I mean,
No way.
it's like the light beer. I just don't understand. It's like, because okay, if you're trying to get drunk, you got to drink more of the light beers because the alcohol content's less. So you're kind of negating the whole purpose of drinking fewer calories because you got to drink more of them. But then, if you're just drinking it for taste, why not just go for non-alcohol? I don't know. Someone needs to explain to me why they get light beer.
The light beer, man. It's one of these oddball mysteries, dude. I'm guilty of it. I'll still drink light beer when I just want to have like, a few of them or whatever. But I always kind of kick myself when I'm buying it. I'm like, why am I doing this?
Yeah. Your man badge on like your shoulder just got ripped off as you like dishonorably discharged from the stores.
Right.
Get out of here. Get out of here.
Right. It's not for me. I'm not buying it for me, guys. Like, stop lying to us.
Yeah. That walk of, you have like the beer walk of shame up to the cash register with your light beer. It's like, just don't judge me.
Don't judge me.
Don't look at me like this.
Right.
I'm actually cutting it with some moon.
That's right. I'm making a cocktail with this. I need it to be light, and I'm cooking with it, and I'm kind of drinking some of them every once in a while.
Yes. The light beer is pretty decent to cook with because you don't. That's okay. I'll let that slide.
That's allowed.
Yes. But anyways, and we're gonna move into our topics of the day. We figured, all right, so Thanksgiving is the real official start of the holidays. Although nowadays you start seeing Christmas stuff like right after Halloween, which is like, I cannot take 2 months of this stuff. But at least it's just like wrapping paper going up. You don't really have to deal with the holiday music and everything until Thanksgiving. Once that Black Friday hits, then it's just boom. You're stuck with it until, the end of the year. And then, so we wanted to first get into holiday music. There's some songs that we really like and other songs it's like you seriously want to just turn and just murder the person standing next to you whenever the song comes on. It's just like, I'm going to lose my mind with this. So, Chris, are there any like songs that just like you just like have to walk out of the store or like crash your car over a bridge when it comes on the radio? You're just like, this is like this is it. I'm ending it all.
Right, yeah. For me, man, like I'm not really a big holiday music fan in general. So it tends to really kind of frustrate me. But I think like top of the list has got to be Mariah Carey's Christmas album. Anything from there, and I'm like, fuck it out the door. Cannot. This album makes this girl's like year every year. Like, good on her for making an album, whatever. But it is like I just can't. Her sing like "All I Want for Christmas Is You" or whatever, and it's just like that is in your head forever. Then. Like, it lingers, man. And it lingers so long that by the time you just about forget it is about the time you have to go into another store and guaranteed you're going to hear it at some point while you're in there. So it's just like this never-ending loop.
This is funny because my top song is real close to this Mariah Carey song. But it's the George Michael "Last Christmas I Gave You My Heart" song.
Oh yeah,
like that one. I'm just like, I just can't take that song. Thankfully, it doesn't come on as often as the Mariah Carey thing. But it's like it is a good Christmas if I can like get through it without that song playing on, like ever playing. It's like it's almost like Russian roulette. Whenever you walk into a store, it's like, okay, when did they last play this song? I gotta get through it before they. How long have we been in? We've been in here for 45 minutes. We gotta go.
Right.
Chances of them playing are very high. If I hear "Last Christmas," they gave me blah. I know one year for like the holidays, me and the ex were in Southeast Asia, and I don't know what they are super into George Michael because I'm not kidding. I heard that song at least 20 times in like a 4-day span. I'm just like every place I went to, it was just George Michael, or it was like a rendition of George Michael, or just like I don't. What is happening? Like You guys don't even celebrate Christmas here. Like, what is going on? But yeah, that is my top. Like, I'm gonna murder you with this play song.
I can't even imagine working retail and having to deal with it. Like, how do they even cope? I can barely even cope for like the 10 to 15 minutes that like I get in there.
Uh-huh.
I'm looking at some of these lists of Christmas songs, and I haven't heard like any of these really. You know, like I'm
Most
trying to
of
like.
just- Most of like the newer poppy songs, like I just don't get into them. Like I'm okay with like the old school classics or whatever, or pretty much any Christmas song in the movie Halloween. I'm usually okay with. Like those are, I mean Halloween, the Christmas songs in Home Alone. I mean,
Yes.
that's
Yeah.
not the Christmas. Those glorious Christmas songs on Halloween are delightful. Not that movie.
I don't even know if there's one that I legitimately like. Now that I kind of like look through these things, man, like I just don't. Oh yeah, right. This is the other one that I don't like. I Saw Mommy Kissing Santa Claus. That one
Oh, yeah.
maybe just hands down another one that's just god awful. And it just
Your
again,
mom's a slut, is what you're saying. That dirty
Right,
skank.
exactly.
That dirty skank.
yes. I mean, how dare she, right? What is this song even trying to get
Yeah.
at? I don't understand it really. Like, is it
Yeah,
sort of
yeah.
like a knock, like, oh, you know, Dad's really Santa Claus, or yeah, or is it the other way, right? You can only
think-
comport it one or two
I
ways.
think that's what the song was originally meant.
But at that
As
point,
what- yeah,
then
I
you're
think-
either like crushing the kids' notion of Santa Claus, right? If it's just like a legit, oh, it's just Dad, he's dressed up as Santa Claus, that's hilarious. Mom, she's not cheating
Yeah.
on Dad, you know. But then the realization is that there's no Santa Claus if you're that little child at that
Yeah.
point, you know.
And that's what created the lady singing Santa Claus I want, checks and diamond rings and everything.
Yes.
So
Yes. And
Although
another one
I-
that I can't like is Monroe, Santa Baby.
Oh yeah.
This is another one
Oh,
where
yeah,
like I just
yeah.
can't take it seriously. Her
Uh-huh.
sing the song. I don't necessarily mind it, but I'm just saying I
Right.
just generally can't. I have a hard time with it.
Yeah, it's one of those. If we just put it on mute and watch, fine. Like I think the Pussycat Dolls a couple years ago did like a cover on it. It's like, yes, okay.
That's like one of those songs where outside of the retail context, I think I could, you can make something work with that.
Mm-hmm.
But when it's on repeat and you just kind of always hear it, I think that's the thing. It's not so much that
Yeah.
you only hear these songs like once a year, but you don't.
Uh-huh.
You hear them about 1 billion times in like an 8-week span, and then they come
Yeah.
back.
Yeah. It's like I used to work at this super kind of touristy restaurant in Savannah, Georgia. And it was like outside by the water. It's very kind of tiki hutty kind of stuff. And when I worked there, the only thing that they were allowed to play was Jimmy Buffett. So my entire shift was just Jimmy Buffett. All day, every day. And
He
it's
doesn't have that
I
much
ever meet
music.
Jimmy- No, and they all sound exactly the same. It's all like just like this 50-year-old frat guy getting wasted on like the beach. It's like there's only so much of this I can take. I can take.
Right.
There's there's this early Simpsons episode. Of course, back in the day they could joke about this. Nowadays they can't. But they had like Marge got a job at the power plant and she's trying to make things better. And you kind of just cut to all these like super depressed like workers, and one guy is just this dude that's like just polishing his like shotgun just sitting there,
Right.
just. And then she's like, Marge is like, what if we did like a special holiday hat day? And then you cut to all of them wearing like holiday hats, and this guy's like wearing like a reindeer hat, and he's just like his eyes twitching. He's just like, I am the angel of death, and you just see him like walk off. You just like, oh man, that's what everyone feels like when Jimmy Buffett's playing all day. Every day.
Right.
It's like, Jimmy Buffett, I am your angel of death. I hope you enjoy your cheeseburger in paradise. Bam.
Oh, here's one that I just remembered. The good old grandma got run over by a reindeer.
See, that's the song you liked when you're like 6 years old, and then you realize like, why? What? Like what?
Right.
Why are we singing about grandma? And then grandpa got run over by a beer truck came out because why not?
Right. I mean, you've got to follow it up with that. It's the natural sequence.
Oh, naturally, yeah, naturally. I think for me, like the songs I like are usually like just the old school classics that you'd hear almost in like church.
Yeah.
Like those I'm kind of fine with because they're not, I don't know. I think they're more like chill. They're not super poppy. But,
Yeah, there's definitely
And I
some
think
good
I'm okay.
classic ones out there.
And like Frank Sinatra sings Silent Night or something like that. Usually that kind of stuff. Okay, I can deal with this for a little.
Yeah, I can get behind like a classic rendition of that.
But when it gets into the Hanson sings the classics, then I got a
Oh
problem.
yeah,
Like,
insert
why-
pop star name here who needs to like jumpstart his career again because he got, accused of sexual assault or a drug arrest or whatever the heck. He puts out a Christmas album and everything's okay again.
Just we'll be waiting for the Kevin Spacey Christmas album
That's coming out, man.
Twitch
Yes.
or somewhere nearby.
Yes, it's got a creepy cover. It's Kevin Spacey shirtless, wearing the Santa pants and a hat, and a questionably young, gentle person sitting on his lap.
So all the little elves.
Yeah, yeah, right.
He's just surrounded by elves in their hats.
Right. But he came out, so it's okay for whatever that excuse. That's like
Oh, I
trump
love
card. Boom.
that thing that made absolutely no sense. Like some like he's like, yeah, Kevin Spacey like essentially raped me when I was 14. He's like, it's okay,
It's
I'm
like,
gay.
guys.
I what? I don't think that's how that works.
Okay, but I'm gay, so there's that.
I gotta tell you what. I mean, he tried something new. He threw it out there to see if it would stick.
He did. I'm glad we can put that one to bed as far as these kind of scandals go. The next time it happens, like, well, what if I just came out? I'll just tell people that I'm gay. That's what happens. I'll explain it that. Oh wait, no, I can't do that. Tried that
I
one.
feel like it has to be one that like blows somebody's minds. Like everyone knew he was gay. Like I'm pretty sure that's like he never talked about it, but just like okay. Like, surprise, no one. But I feel like if it's something totally, like, super obscure, like, wait, what? I totally forgot that he has sex with children. It's like, wait, he's what? So, yeah. But, okay, so we could go around in circles on, like, music and Kevin Spacey doing circles around little boys. But we will not do that. We're going to go to we're going to get into more holiday-esque movies in later episodes, but there are no Thanksgiving movies. Like, Chris, can you think of, like, anything that would fit into that?
I can't. No. What I've been struggling with is, does it even warrant having its own movie?
Right.
I think it does. I feel like it should. But it's just every movie that has a Thanksgiving scene in it is probably a Christmas movie.
Yeah.
At heart.
It's definitely the establishing shot of the Christmas movie. So it's like, okay, moving forward.
Yeah, or otherwise Thanksgiving is like the time where everything turns in the romantic comedy, and then he's got to win her back by Christmas, that kind of thing. Like, it's just a setup play. You know what I mean? It's never the actual like climax of the movie. This Thanksgiving shot.
Yeah,
I'm kind of surprised.
It's weird because you have like Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade.
Yeah,
I mean, because that's got to be one of the outside of maybe New Year's. I mean, I would think more people watch the Thanksgiving Day Parade than the Christmas parade because you're opening presents and doing stuff.
Right.
Like Thanksgiving morning, you're nursing your hangover from going out to the bars the night before. So you're just like,
exactly.
Whatever. Football's not on yet, so blah.
You know what I see Thanksgiving movie as? I see this as like a good setup for a Wes Anderson storyline. Just only centering around Thanksgiving, not really drawing in any kind of other holiday in it.
Okay.
I think he could pull it off. quirky enough where
Yeah.
like to just make it only the focus of Thanksgiving and not get into these other holidays things. You just can't separate it nowadays. I feel like.
Yeah, yeah. It's definitely it's very yeah. I mean, you get like TV shows about the holiday, but yeah, there is a lack of quality media entertainment based on this holiday. So it's like, okay, maybe it's just because as soon as Thanksgiving hits, you're just watching Christmas movies. It's just like
That, I mean, right? That's pretty much it. It's just like a weird transitional like day. You kind of just get together,
Yeah.
eat a ton of food, fall asleep, wake up, and then boom, it's just Christmas season everywhere. It's like it never even happened.
yeah. It is kind of like the inside version of the 4th of July where you just overeat, watch sports, take a
Yes,
nap.
yes. Fireworks of a different sort later on.
Yeah, yeah. Or if you blow up the turkey in the
Yeah.
in the deep fryer outside.
Right? I've never deep
But,
fried a turkey. I've heard they're delicious.
That yeah, and I was gonna ask you this later, but I bring it up now. I feel like that's one of the biggest problems with Thanksgiving is so many people don't really know how to cook a turkey.
They
right?
don't, man. They really don't. I personally prefer, and I've done a few turkeys myself, but I
Mhm.
prefer the slow and low method.
Oh, has
Yeah,
to, right?
man. Like either you can do a ton of stuff with it. I've tried brining them. I've done dry rubs, but ultimately the best results are always just bake it in low heat and keep basting the crap out of it. I'm not a huge fan of dropping it into a giant vat of oil and praying that nothing's frozen in there.
Uh-huh. Yeah, that's I'd almost say that I've had like for Thanksgiving dinners, I've probably had more drier turkeys than actually like succulent. Like, yeah, this is he's
They're
like
hard to get. They're really easy to just
Like-
ruin.
yeah, I almost prefer like Thanksgiving giving ham over turkey because people aren't going to screw that one up really. I mean, because the bird's just like a hollow cavity in the middle, so it's easy for like the moisture to leave it.
Yeah. Yep.
So,
And nobody wants to like put the time in really to get it nice and juicy, because like
Right.
it takes some time to get it that way.
yeah, but the low and slow, man. That's how you got to do pretty much all meat. I'll do these ribs, not for Thanksgiving, but I'll do these ribs, and I don't have a smoker in the house, but you can get like mesquite wood chips, and you can soak them in water for like I don't remember how long I usually do it, and then you put them on like the bottom rack of like your oven, and you put the oven on low, and you put like the meat in there, and you just keep just a little bit of water into the wood so that like it steams up and you get some of that smoke in your oven. And I'll keep it out, I'll do it for like 10 hours. And oh man, you get the greatest just like bark on the ribs. And
Oh,
it's just
yeah.
fan freaking
So
tastic.
good.
It's just when you low and slow, man, that's if you got the time, that is by far the way.
That is, man. That is the way to go. Dude, those sound really good. We should have like an alt Thanksgiving menu. I'd put ribs on that.
Oh, we should. Yeah, we should. Maybe we'll do that for like our alt Christmas. Like, what are you really hungry for?
Yes.
Because yeah, those ribs. When you low and slow, and you just like you touch like one of the bones, and just falls off. Like, oh,
Yeah,
man, it's
yeah.
like-
That is a good feeling for sure.
yeah, because I do like a solid dry rub on it, and I cook it with the dry rub, and then after I pull it out, that's when like the sauce goes on. If I feel like sauce, and let that sit for a little bit, and then because I make the sauce too.
Nice.
So I can
Yeah,
just
yeah.
like extra. I got a killer just sauce recipe, so it's like yes.
There you go.
Sometimes just a good dry rub is all you need.
Right. Yep. So we're gonna come over to your place for Thanksgiving and just do ribs.
Yeah. Screw everything else. Sometimes just give me some ribs, give me some mac and cheese.
Yep.
Just
Yep.
whatever.
The turkey's had his day for this forever. I'm bringing the pig. The pig is coming The new mascot of
Yes.
Thanksgiving. Pig.
Yes. Wow. Although to be fair, the pig basically has every other
That's true,
holiday.
unfortunately. He's got the best meat. What do they want us to do? We can't just throw it to the turkey
yeah.
just because, you know?
Yeah. There again, The Simpsons, on the episode where Lisa announces she's going vegetarian, Homer's like, "Wait, Lisa, you're not eating bacon anymore?" She's like, "No." He's like, "What about pork chops?" She's like, "No." And he's like, and he and he says something else that's pig, and she's like, "Dad, that's all the same animal." And he's like, "Yes, honey, a magical animal." It's like, yeah, it is. It's Anyways, we have established the fact that there are no Thanksgiving movies, which, what are you going to do? But what we can do is drink some more. And so we're going to go to drink number deuce. And Chris, what do you got for number 2? Oh, first, have you finished drink number 1 yet?
Yes. Finished off the Budweiser Prohibition Reserve or whatever.
And so you'd recommend it?
Yeah, I'd at least, you know what? If you see a single bottle of it on the shelf, I think it's at least worth the try. I wouldn't go out and buy a bunch of these. It's not like spectacular, but again, it's for what it was not horrible.
Do you remember I don't think they make this anymore. It was like the Michelob Winter Cask Ale. I think they used to get it at
I do remember
that. Old Chicago. And that was back when, Budweiser was hiding some of its beers that it would try to say were, micro beers, but were just Michelob.
Right. That was a good beer, though. I mean,
yeah, that one was pretty.
It was one of these earlier, brewskis that they let sit in a cask. You didn't really. You see these a lot now for sure, but back then, I had not really had one that had that nice little bourbony aftertaste to it, smoky, kind of woody, kind of. That was a legit beer, and the branding on that thing was kind of cool too. The crazy snowman thing.
Didn't it have a bit of a vanilla cream soda flavor to
it? It did. It consistently made that Old Chicago winter beer list, more than once. And it was very seasonal, but definitely during those a little bit shady Budweiser days where they were passing off their own beers as microbrews. But if you read the label, it's straight up Budweiser. What is that about?
Yeah. Now they just buy micros.
Yeah,
and say
you're right. They're just all right, fine, you got us, guys. We'll just buy them then. Is this better?
Yeah. Yeah, fine. But all right, what is your beer number 2?
Okay, beer number 2. Throwing it back to the heritage. My family comes from Eastern Europe. A bunch of them are from Poland. So I found a Lomza beer.
Okay.
It's a Polish beer, apparently.
Oh man.
Right. So I've never had a Polish beer before, so this is going to be an experiment. But again, traditionally, at Thanksgiving or holidays, there's a lot of Polish food going around. So I figured I'd give this one a shot. Right off the bat, I am getting a lot of that typical skunkiness. So, yeah, in kind of a way that's making me think this could be, this could be trouble. But we'll see. I'm gonna pour this one into a glass too. And nothing blowing me away yet. It's what you would kind of expect from a European Pilsner type, beer.
Yeah. It's weird. So you have the UK, Belgium, Germany, and I guess kind of Denmark, and then everyone else is just did you all just sleep on the beer?
What happened?
You guys fall asleep with the beer stuff? What's going on? You guys make just the pissy smelling lagers or pilsners or whatever. It's I don't what so, I mean not saying they're all bad, but just I I don't know.
Right.
We all fell asleep on it somehow.
No, seriously. Yeah. Yeah, it's it tastes a lot like a Heineken, you know? It's nothing spectacular. It's not terrible.
Okay.
But it's not blowing me away on any front either, you know? It's basically
Right.
Poland. That's basically what it is. It's kind of there, you know?
Uh-huh.
Many jokes could be made about it. It'll stand by itself and maybe laugh at itself a little bit too. And at the end of the day, it's got a nice, healthy 6.0 ABV on that one too, so it can stand its own.
Oh man,
yeah.
yeah. You're getting some nice.
That's right. The holidays. This is sort of like my rule of thumb for the holidays. You might like a go big or go home kind of situation,
Right.
Sometimes, for me, sadly, it's like what is the fastest way that I can just like knock myself out and get into like post Thanksgiving coma and high alcohol volume beers, in addition to copious amounts of food, particularly turkey.
Yeah.
I'm like crashed out by second quarter of the Lions game.
Which is normally a good
Yeah,
thing.
which is normally not a bad thing.
Well, with mine, I decided to escalate mine. I first went from beer, and now I'm stopping on the wine train. And
Classy.
yeah, it's super classy because it's one of those like miniature box wines.
Yes.
It is called Vendange, Vendange, Vendange. I don't know. Vendange. It's a Pinot Grigio. It was on sale for $3.99, so I figured you can't go wrong with
Bonus.
that. Yeah, it's got 12.5% alcohol by volume, contains sulfates, of course, because it's in a box. You gotta love the box wine with the expiration dates on it.
Oh yeah.
That's always a little worrisome.
Right. Right.
But I was like, no, I am not buying the giant 5-liter box of Franzia. I'm not.
No.
So I'm doing this. I think this is the second time I've done wine on the show. The first time was the jug of shoot, I don't remember what it was.
Was it Carlos Rosie? Yeah.
Yes, Carlos Rosie.
Yeah.
The jug of Carlos Rosie.
Oh man.
Oh man. Yeah. that brings back memories. But maybe one of these days when Chris and I are together, we'll just crack open the 5-liter jug of Carl Rosie and just
We'll just do the podcast with that. We'll just start off. We'll just see how far we can go. We won't have any agenda in mind.
Yeah.
And the show will go on for as long as we have wine to drink.
Yeah. Maybe we'll just live stream it and we'll play some Jenga because that's what we used to do. And Luza had to chug their giant glass of wine, which generally is almost always me.
Oh, dude,
somehow. I don't know how I lost every time.
Every time. It didn't matter like the
Every
number of
time.
players either.
No. And these games would get pretty epic too, where to the point where it's like, okay, it's like one block on one block on one block every time. You're just like, I don't even know. And I tell you what, when you're forced to chug like 2 16-ounce glasses of wine, that'll get you.
That'll do it.
Well, still one of my favorite crowning moments of alcohol drinking was when the two of us by ourselves polished off 5 liters
Yes.
of Carl Rosie wine. And I think that was after we drank just a regular bottle of like better
Yeah.
wine to kind of warm ourselves up.
This was like the heyday.
Yeah.
And then we walked to the pita pit and tried to get food.
Yeah. What happened after that? I don't remember, but
I don't exactly recall what happened after that. But I know that we made it and got food. And I'm still here. We're still here. So obviously good things happened.
and now I'm trying the Vendange. I don't know, because it's made in the United States, so I figured it was some kind of fancy Italian.
No.
Italy's not putting wine in boxes.
No.
So let's give this. Have you tried yours yet? I can't remember.
I did, yeah. It's a lot like that.
Okay,
It's a
that's
typical Heineken-like. Yeah.
Yeah, the Heineken Carlsberg.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Yep.
So, all right, I'm going to give this a try. Yeah, it's not bad. It's your kind of run-of-the-mill Pinot Grigio. I don't think there's anything generally special about Pinot Grigio, but I like it because it's a white wine. If you don't feel like that oaky flavor, and it's not super sweet either. I mean, normally I tend to go with more of the drier red stuff. I just like that. I don't like if I drink wine, I don't like it super sweet.
Yep.
But I didn't feel like drinking a red tonight. So Pinot Grigio is kind of like a nice, I don't know, in the middle. You know, it's not like your Chardonnay, which is more, I guess, Chardonnay's drier, isn't it? I'm trying to think.
Chardonnay's more like I think that's more buttery and velvety.
Yeah.
I think,
yeah.
yeah, what is it? Rieslings are sweet. See, I'm not like a big wine guy. Pinot's probably in there with like the dry stuff. You could probably get a dry, like on the Chardonnay side. Anybody that's like into wine that's listening to right now is probably like so upset.
Just like, sweet Jesus, these two are idiots.
Yeah,
which is funny. We almost went down the wine train. Like there was, I feel like at one point we were teetering between the beer and the wine just because we were basically out of beer. There was nothing new to try around us. So it's kind of like, all right, let's just try different wines because that was kind of fun too. You know, I think because it'd usually be you, me, the girlfriend who eventually would become the wife. But usually it was the three, and then if other people from work would show up, then more. But it's kind of just like the weekly wine parties because you can show up with something super cheap, but you're contributing. So it's all good.
right.
Occasionally, like your sister would pop in. I think she was there for a couple of Chuck Norris nights. Nights.
Yep. The one epic one where it was just everybody. I think she was at that one.
Yeah, that was. Those things got really big by the time it was done. Like it started off with the first Norris night was you, me, Emily, and
Leo, right?
Leo,
yeah.
This dude who had basically like never seen a white dude ever. Like he was like born, raised downtown Detroit, then was going to Michigan State. And he'd tell us, he's like, you two are my first white friends
ever.
And so it was like the four of us just watching Chuck Norris, and that was like the first. And it just kind of like 2 weeks later, we get a couple more people and a couple more people, and there was one where. I don't. It's just it get to the point where you don't even know what's happening. And then the last one that I remember I was doing there's like 30 people there. there's the boss's brother who you're calling by the wrong name the entire
Jimmy
time.
Curtis.
Jimmy Curtis. He's like, what's my name? It's Jimmy Curtis. That's not my name.
No.
I don't even know what his
I think
actual
it was
name
Brian. I just wasn't even close to Jimmy at all.
Yeah, it's Jimmy. And we were playing beer pong, but we didn't have a table, so we just used like the top of two speakers and spread them out across the room. And that was and we were doing the beer pong, so there was like one hidden shot of
just straight vodka. Yeah.
Just or something, in the middle of one of them. And I still it got down to like they already did theirs, and then our last cup standing was the vodka shot.
yeah.
And then you were just
I kept disappearing.
Your mind. You would disappear, and I'd have to like hunt you down to find you to like take part. It's like, Chris, it's your turn, man. And this is like you just show up and just like throw it, not even walk away. It's just like, okay.
Grace is like carrying the entire. Like the only reason why we're in this at all is because Grayson's hitting shots.
And it's down to one cup each. But in our cup left is the liquor shot. Thankfully, we hadn't had to take one yet. Chris just walks up out of nowhere, picks up the ball, and just throws it, lands it in their shot. And so Jimmy Curtis is
so mad.
Jimmy Curtis and the other guy, because they have to do our vodka shot now too. They're just like, oh,
they couldn't believe it.
Yes.
Yeah.
But
it's a highlight reel moment of my life, right there.
That is a highlight reel. And speaking of specialty booze, that's our next topic, and it's favorite seasonal just beverages.
Yes.
Because who doesn't like a nice seasonal beverage? And, right now you got kind of the pumpkin spice everything that kind of leads up to Halloween, and then you have a little carryover of the pumpkin-y as it's moving into peppermint-y Christmas stuff. And then once Thanksgiving hits, it's just boom. that you're stuck with peppermint everything.
Yep.
And whatever. But yeah. So what's your favorite seasonal beverages?
You know what? I kind of it for me excuse me, exactly like how you said. It starts with the pumpkin stuff in fall. I kind of get excited when the pumpkin beer starts coming on the shelves. So like in the fall, it's something new, with that. Emily, my wife, likes the pumpkin stuff as well, so that kind of kicks it off. But then, seasonally, I kind of do like the spiced up hot chocolates. If you put some like peppermint, like schnapps or whatever you want to, even like a vanilla vodka or something like that, and throw that in like a hot chocolate with like a candy cane and some whipped cream. Like those are kind of fun to do. Or the different coffees.
Yeah.
Trying to think of like a good seasonal one. I don't mind eggnog actually if you like legit do it the right way.
I have actually never had eggnog before that I can recall.
I hate this drink in general, but for what I feel like I have to have it in the holidays.
I was actually told by so I did like a video on this scorpion mescal where there's actually a scorpion in the bottle.
Yeah.
And originally I got it because I thought it'd be absolutely disgusting because there's a scorpion in the bottle. And it was actually really freaking good. I can't that's one of my biggest shockers ever. Even though like when I bought it at the store, it had like a 95 rating from whatever rating source. But so I did the video, and then like the head of the company that imports that stuff in the United States ended up messaging me, back and forth a little bit. But he recommended you take like a Mexican dark chocolate and you add this mescal into it, and he says it's freaking
interesting. Yeah, that sounds good.
You have to try that out. Yeah, but he did say you have to use Mexican chocolate, not like your Hershey's.
Yeah, there's a legit difference.
Yeah. I'm gonna guess it's probably not as much sugar.
Yeah, it's more probably like a baking chocolate a little bit. Then they also don't have. I bet it's probably like a harder chocolate too. Like
maybe more an earthier too.
Right.
I'm gonna have to check that out. But I always like the winter seasonal beers are by far my favorite. If I have to pick like a seasonal, like just beer or at any time of the year, I like the Christmas beers.
Yes.
When they're like seasoned or spiced or whatever, right? Sometimes it's just like I don't know what you guys are doing here, but I feel like Anchor does a really nice seasonal every year. That's always cool, and I think every year they do a different pine tree or whatever. On the
nice.
Every year it's different. So I do like those. I can't think if there's any like specific. I mean, there's some Belgian winter beers that come out too that I like, and they're usually like super high alcohol, like 13% alcohol Christmas beers, those will knock your socks off a little bit.
Right. Who does the anniversary ale? Is it New Holland? There's like a
question.
Man, I know there's this one beer. I can picture it. It's got like a red, snowy scene like on the cover, and
oh yeah. Oh no, that's not New Holland. That's another one out of California. I know exactly what you're talking about too.
That one.
I just actually just saw it today too, and it's.
I can't. We'll have to amend this with the name of that, because that's the other one that I kind of look forward to. When you see it on the shelf, Celebration Ale or something like that.
Yeah, it's like that one's going to.
Yes, Nevada. That's it. Sierra Nevada Celebration Ale. Yes.
Yeah,
we got
that
there.
One's good.
But yeah, that I dig that one. I think I'm with you on this. The winter seasonal beers are really, really good. We kind of touched on that Michelob one, but in general, that's when I started drinking more of like the heavier, porters, or the Sammy Klaus that we had that one time, which is really good.
Yeah, yeah. I just like there's something about a nice, heavier stout or porter with some of just like the nutmeg and the clove and just some of that like spice from like a holiday kind of spice thing that really just kind of brings it together and it's like yes, this tastes like the holidays.
Yep.
I like this.
Yeah.
I like this.
For me, I think I'd put that Doppelbock, the one that comes with like the little white plastic guy around the bottleneck.
Oh yeah. That's the German.
Yeah.
I can't remember what it's called, but yeah, I know. Again, I know what you're talking about. Hopefully, everyone
Just
else
just
does
ask.
too.
All you gotta do is just go to the beer store and ask for it that way. Doppelbock with
I
the
think-
little
isn't
white
that-
thing around
Isn't it
there.
like Celebrator or whatever? It's called like, I think it's that Celebrator Doppelbock.
Yeah, I'm gonna find it.
Yeah, I don't know. But I also like mulled wines.
Mold
I'm
wines.
kind of a big fan.
I have not
Yeah.
had that before.
Have you had this before? It's where you heat it up, and you'll add like a bottle of red wine, and then you add like a cup of brandy.
Oh yeah, nice.
Sorry, my microphone. You add a cup of brandy. I mean, you add there's some sugar into it. You add some cinnamon sticks. I believe you add some like cloves in a bag so it doesn't like disperse, but you toss it in there, and then you might throw some like oranges or orange peel or something in there, and you just kind of like let it hit a boil, and then you take it off and you serve it warm, and it's really awesome. It's almost like it's like a spiced wine,
Right.
and it's awesome. You can look up. There's a bunch of great recipes online. I'm sure on one of our episodes leading up to Christmas, I'll have one of these wines. It's a solid like nighttime kind of chilly, but you don't feel like chocolate beverage. I don't know. I'm a really big fan of that. So plus it gets you. I mean, you're drinking wine, but then you're also adding some brandy to it. So
Can't go wrong.
It's like it's like okay, the wine isn't strong enough, so add some brandy.
Exactly.
Whatever.
And you were right. It
Yeah.
was a Celebrator, Ayinger Celebrator
Okay.
Doppelbock. Yeah,
Yeah. Anger makes some pretty decent beers out there.
they do.
Man, I haven't had a Doppelbock in it's been a hot
I
second.
think maybe we should do that for another one coming up, just like our favorite winter style beers. Because I haven't had these beers in a long time. The Celebrator one is bringing back some memories because that was one of the first ones that you and I had. You know,
Uh-huh.
and I honestly haven't. I'll have to track it down because I haven't even seen this thing recently. At least not around here. We don't have a lot of good beer stops in Traverse City. It's gotten a little bit worse, actually. I think maybe because the microbrews are kind of popping up. They're not really getting a lot of these
I'm gonna
imports.
say probably, yeah. Yeah, that would make sense actually. And I think it'd be fun if we did an episode 2 where we each try to get the highest alcohol content beers that we can find.
Yes,
And then just see what we can each come up with. I think that'd be
I like it. I like it.
So do you have any other like seasonal beverages that you just kind of just really dig? It doesn't even have to be like I guess winter stuff. Like if there's other seasonal beers or drinks that you like at other times of the year.
Yeah, no, the only other one that kind of comes to mind would be I am a fan of the dry champagne, on New Year's.
Yeah.
Hopefully not dripping from your ceiling.
Yeah. Oh, I forgot.
Yeah,
about
that was this is a classic. I lost major dad points because like we had Berkeley. Berkeley was like super young, and we were hanging out at your place on New Year's, and I just remember getting over the line and spraying that champagne bottle all over your kitchen. And I believe it was raining champagne down onto Berkeley, who was like sitting in her car seat in there.
Oh well.
Yeah, I mean, right.
You just it pops open and starts spraying. You got to keep going with it. You got to.
I guess so.
I
I guess so. I'll hit the rewind button and be like, I don't really know what you were thinking here. Like the play-by-play teleprompter thing is like,
Yeah.
this is right where you went wrong, where you started legitimately trying to spray it everywhere.
Yeah.
But
That's when the Ron Howard Arrested Development voiceover.
Exactly. Yeah. Yes. But aside from missteps like that, I really only drink champagne around, that time. Seasonally for me, like around the New Year, mimosas, champagne, kind of thing. It's not like my favorite though. The winter stuff is probably winter seasonal beers are my favorite, I think.
Yes. And there's always, since I live so close to the Mexican border, I like to, at least last year I popped over and we'll just actually try to hunt down some Mexican seasonal beers because there's actually some decent Mexican seasonal beers that that they just don't import.
Yeah, you sent me one last year, I think.
Yeah, and that one it didn't really taste necessarily like a Christmas seasonal to me, but I thought it was still pretty good for, it was trying to think it was what beer it was. But totally.
I'm blanking.
Well, there's a beer you can get at some restaurants called Bohemia, and it's kind of like a Modelo Negra, and it's along that same line. I think the Bohemia one's better, but they have a Christmas beer. It's also it's got poinsettias on it. It's
labeled too, like it straight up says like which one it is of the batch.
Yeah.
And the year it was bottled.
Yeah, it's super. You can only get it for a couple months. So before I come back to Michigan, I will have to bring up a few cases.
Yes.
It's always fun. It's always fun walking through customs where you just got just boxes of beer. Like, what do you got? It's like, it's beer. You want one? It's like, yes, but I can't take it. You cannot give it to Border Patrol.
No, don't do that.
Fine. Yeah. But all right. So that is we just like seasonal. We like the winter seasonal stuff.
I don't know what else. What else is really seasonal too? As far as like beers kind of go.
I guess maybe
there's summer stuff.
Beers are very interesting. So you got your like Shandy super light stuff during the summertime, and that kind of moves into a bit of the Oktoberfest where you have a little more bitterness or just flavor. It's more of like along your brown ale kind of thing, and then you move from your Oktoberfest into the pumpkin stuff, and then from the pumpkin stuff you moved into the Christmas holidays, which kind of take you over to the New Year, and then eventually you get into the spring stuff, which is almost like very similar to the Oktoberfest style of beer, where it's almost like starting to warm you back up to like the watery, to like your shandies and lighter beers, and it's a very just kind of interesting kind of circle of beverages. I feel like these summer beers last a whole lot longer than all the other seasonal stuff. You got like a month and a half, and bam, it's gone. You got to do the next one. And so just like, at least around here it is, because I mean, come on, it's 82 degrees right now, and it's November 10th.
Right.
So I mean, and that's probably why most of the other beers around here just suck. It's all just like, you guys don't know how to make like a legit whatever because you don't. It's always warm. Although I guess I shouldn't completely say that, because at the brew pub I went to, the best beer they had was a dark chocolate stout. So
good for that.
I don't know. Yeah, it's like, good on you guys. I heard a commercial for them saying like, come out and check out our IPA. It's super citrusy, piney smelling. It's like, no, it's not. It smelled like a pot wrapped in gym socks. That did not smell like how you described.
That's a secret ingredient, man. They dry hop it with the pot wrapped in gym socks before finishing it off.
Yeah, needs more sock. But all right, we're gonna get on to drink number 3 before getting into our final topic of the day. So, Chris, what do you got for drink number 3?
All right, I went with a bit of a dessert course. Kind of.
Okay.
It's another beer that I have not had before, but I went with the Southern Tier Brewing Company. Oddly enough, it's seasonal, so it kind of fits right in with what we were just talking about. But it is the Cinnamon Roll. It's an imperial ale, and so it's got natural cinnamon in there, some caramel flavors. And like I said, it's a go big or go home kind of holiday for me. So with this, we're going to finish tonight with an 8.6 ABV.
Nice.
Definitely healthy on that front. So let's see here. All right, where's this out of? Southern Tier. It's a New York beer. It smells really good, actually. It smells like you can you get that cinnamon like right out the gate.
Oh man, now that I had what's this beer called again?
Southern Tier cinnamon roll.
Okay, I had a pumpkin beer from Southern Tier, and that is probably the best pumpkin beer I've had, maybe that I could just think of. It tastes like it's supposed to. It's not like watering it down. There wasn't anything. It was like just like what I was looking for above any other beer. There wasn't anything close to that pumpkin beer. So I'm interested to see what you say about this.
This is it's shaping up maybe to be in a similar spot. I'm pretty impressed just so far. But let me take a swig here.
Okay.
Yeah. Wow. That is actually a really interesting beer right there.
Yeah.
So, let me process this for a second. Boy, that's really good. So right out, it's dark, so you kind of get this portery, flavor palette with a little roasty, silky, kind of smooth there, but cinnamon like right out of the bat. But not overpowering though, which is really kind of strange.
Right.
It's for as much as I'm kind of explaining it, like it still worked. It was super balanced on the cinnamon side, but then that tapers off, and then behind that, you get this sort of like vanilla caramely, almost like the icing on cinnamon rolls, like on the back end. Super complex. Really dig this. This is super solid for sure. Seasonal Southern Tier cinnamon roll. I'm very happy with that one.
Okay, yeah, and if you see this in store, the Southern Tier Pumpkin, Pumkng, that's the pumpkin beer that just like blew my like socks off. So check that one out too, and it's like an 8.6% alcohol by volume. I had to look it up real quick.
That's the thing, man.
While you're trying.
Right. So both of these beers that these guys, granted these are the only two that we're kind of discussing, but I would never know that that's behind all that going on. That it's an 8.6, ABV kind of beer.
Oh yeah. So I don't know if the two beers that we've talked about from Southern Tier are this good. I think I might have to start looking more into this brewing company.
Yeah, same here, man.
It is good. So I'm gonna try to snatch some just in case there, because the pumpkin beers are gonna start disappearing like super fast now that we got the winter stuff coming. I'm gonna try to snag some and maybe bring them
Nice.
up.
Yeah.
But this one, it was like wow. And like Beer Advocate's got it at a 4.05 out of 5. So really any beer that's over 4 on Beer Advocate's usually
they could be kind of brutal on that forum for sure.
Some people, complete just giant
assholes.
Yes. When they're rating. Yeah. They're the people that will never give their Uber driver a 5 ever.
No.
Like ever. So, but whatever. So mine, I'm progressively getting higher alcohol content. I went from the beer to the wine, and now I'm going to a little Johnny Walker Red Label with Coca-Cola.
Oh, yes.
So I figure, since I'm with family, I don't want to look like a giant alcoholic and just sip whiskey.
Right.
So I'll mix some Coca-Cola into it and look a little less. Plus, I thought I had some Jim Beam. Originally, it was going to be Jim Beam and Coke, but apparently I don't have that anymore. But I do have some Red Label that's been sitting around, so I think Red Label is probably a little better than Jim Beam.
A little bit.
Because if you're at a bar and Jim Beam, if Johnny Walker Red is in the well, you're at a pretty damn good bar. I'm just gonna say that right out. So yeah, I got my whiskey and Coke going.
I dig it, man. The whiskey and Coke, classic family drink.
This is This is actually what Winston Churchill would drink during World War II. He was a very big Red Label mixed with Coca-Cola drinker because he said Red Label is the perfect, basically drinking whiskey. mixing whiskey, and it is. It doesn't have. It's not harsh as like some of the cheaper ones, but it's not like super like smooth on its own to the point. I normally would drink it on its own, but
Where's that made out of? Who
Nice.
makes Red Label?
that is Johnny Walker, so it's Scotch. It's out of Scotch.
It is, right? Yeah, that's what I was thinking. I was like, that's like a legit from Scotland.
Yeah, it is. Johnny Walker does mostly blended whiskey.
Yeah.
So, which I think a lot of, if you talk to your hardcore Scotch people, they can be like, "Whoa, blended."
No. Right.
Like, what are you doing? But I'm a fan of the Black Label and the Double Black. Ooh, Double Black's only like $5 more than Single Black, and it is really good. It is definitely worth the step up.
Do it.
But I don't think I've gone higher than the Double Black.
It's been a long time since I've had red. I don't know if I've had black.
Black is definitely worth the step up. It's like, oh man, I haven't I don't know, like Johnny Walker used to be I would go between Johnny Walker's and gin. So I was like a very old Englishman.
Right.
And then, in the morning I'd eat my oatmeal and drink my Earl Grey. But I was just like an old Englishman. But me and gin, it's a love-hate relationship.
I'm with you there, man. Like, it's hard for me. I don't like a lot of gin drinks.
Mm-hmm.
I like a good dirty, dry gin martini.
Yeah.
Dude,
next time you get that, have them add hot sauce.
Oh, yeah.
That's fantastic with the dirty gin.
Yes. That sounds hot sauce. Anything really for me. I'm gonna be like on board for that.
Yeah. It's funny. I'll order sometimes a hot and dirty gin martini, and they look at me like I'm adding like ordering like either a crazy drink or just a like a Psycho Beach. They're just like, what are you asking for? I'm like, dirty martini with hot sauce. I think they're just so used to getting just like the stupid. I'll have the Girl Scout slut cookie.
Yes,
drink,
right, exactly.
And I think they're just so used to like, that's no. It's just just a dirty gin martini with hot sauce.
Yep. I've not had it with hot sauce, but
do it.
Yep,
Definitely.
gonna try it.
It's like a nighttime Bloody Mary. That's not gonna screw. It might mess with your stomach. Let's be honest, but.
No, but by that time, plenty other culprits could be at work with that anyway.
Yeah. But okay, so while we are enjoying our last drink number 3 of the evening, we decided to get into, since we're getting up to Thanksgiving, we're going to look at our top sides. Like, what are these sides have to be served at Thanksgiving, or what's the point? Like, and a lot of these sides I'd pretty much rather have over turkey. It's like, no, screw the turkey. I just want these sides. Like, this makes the meal.
The sides are kind of the start of the show, if you think about it.
Yeah.
There's more sides than turkey, typically, unless you're like an animal and you only just like cook turkey on your plate.
Yeah.
I think
I'm perfectly
some turkey and a bunch of sides.
Yeah. And I might not even get the turkey. Like, maybe I'll try it. It's like,
especially if
you
you just dried out.
again.
It's like turkey jerky. It's like, yeah, thanks. Nice job with that this year, Grandma.
Yeah. Where's the gravy?
Right, exactly. Yeah.
So, okay, how about we're gonna do our top, like, get down to our top 4, and then we're gonna throw out some stuff that should just never, like, get rid of these sides for all eternity, because these should never be on the table, just like period.
Yes.
So, all right. So, but to start off, what's your number 5?
Number 5
on your top 5 sides?
Yes. Okay. So I'm going super vanilla, very safe play for number 5.
Mm-hmm.
I thought about this for a little bit, and I really only take this item at Thanksgiving. In general, this will never make my sides list ever.
Okay.
But I'm going straight up, simple dinner roll for number 5.
Oh man, I didn't even think about dinner rolls. Yeah.
It seems like such just like a throwaway thing. I hate just extra bread. in general.
Uh-huh.
But for whatever reason, Thanksgiving, those things come like right out of the oven. They're still warm. You put the butter on them. That like
You can dip them into the mashed
Yeah,
potatoes, and
right.
the gravy, and it's just
it's the only time I think a dinner roll is actually an appropriate thing to have. You know,
Yeah.
I've been to other dinners that like you serve rolls with them. I never take them because I'm like, I don't want extra bread.
right.
Thanksgiving,
I think the only other time that bread is acceptable is if it's garlic bread with like a
yes,
Italian food.
right.
Then because you need like that starchiness to soak up everything else that's still on the plate, because then you can still kind of clean it off. Like otherwise, it's like, what am I doing with this bread? This is just wasting my stomach space.
Yeah, it's just eating up valuable space. But
Yeah.
Thanksgiving, I'm going for the bread rolls.
Yeah, nice. I'm throwing a little bit of a. Well, this is more of like a family side, but I don't think I've ever actually seen it served anywhere else. And it's carrot casserole.
All
I
right.
don't think I've ever seen this. And our carrot casserole, at least the way I make it, I do it a little differently. I do it like half carrot, half parsnips, because I like the extra kind of sugariness of the parsnip. And you kind of boil those up and you mash it up, and then you mix it up. You mix it with cheese, and then you do a couple like sleeves of crackers to give it a little more like solid consistency and some crunch to it. And I feel like there might be some whipping cream. I don't know, something, probably some other dairy in it. But then you bake it, and you got this nice. I mean, it's basically like glowing, like a very odd, like just orange whatever
Yes.
coming out of the oven. But it's just, I don't know, between the cheese and the carrots and the crackers that give it like this more of a solid consistency. I think it's fantastic. I love it. And I've never seen it anywhere else. And normally when somebody comes to our Thanksgiving, they'll see it and be like, what the hell
Right.
is that? Like, I don't understand. But I don't know. I has become just a thing that I like. So I'm tossing that in at number 4.
I like it, man. I've never had it, but it sounds kind of amazing. I sort of want to make one this year. I've never had a carrot casserole.
It's definitely, yeah. It sounds like a little odd. I'll definitely be honest, but and it looks even odder. It's like, what kind of like nuclear waste material is put in? Because that's like
Right.
really glowing
Yeah,
right now.
yeah.
Like, but yeah, and growing up, my sister had like a dairy issue, so we'd use like the orange fake cheese, and actually it didn't even taste, at least that I can remember, that bad with the fake cheese. But I mean, if possible, definitely go with the real stuff.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
You know, but yeah, I don't know. But all right, yeah. What is your number 4?
Okay, number 4. So I got to clarify this as well, because I think every one of these sides that I have, except for maybe say one, every single one of them requires a certain key thing to be present with this, and that is legit gravy made from the drippings of the turkey. You got to have like it can't just be the canned gravy. Like, I know the difference. If you make like a real turkey gravy, that stuff can be kind of like to die for. And I actually, as odd as it is, I do like to chop the gimlets up and fry those, and then throw those in and mix it all up with some flour after the turkey's kind of done. I have a gravy recipe.
Oh, nice.
So anyway, like most of these sides, they require copious amounts of this. You're basically just drowning it in this kind of gravy. But the number 4 on this is roasted carrots, because when I make the turkey, I'll throw in at the bottom of the pan a bunch of carrots, other kind of root vegetables maybe, but it's primarily carrots and onions, and the turkey's on top, and all that just gets basted up and roasted. So I like the roasted carrots, but with a healthy amount of the turkey dripping gravy slathered on top of it.
Okay, nice. I could dig that. You gotta have the gravy. That's key.
Oh yeah, and it's hard to make it from the drippings all the time, but if you can do it, you gotta do it that way.
Yeah. Thanksgiving without good gravy is like fish sticks without good tartar sauce. It's like, what am I like? I'm missing something very crucial.
It's a key element, not present right now.
Mm-hmm. All right, my number 4 is I'm going with an old classic, but I'm going with the green bean casserole.
Nice.
It's just it's so stupidly easy too.
It is.
Like, it's so dumb. It's just like canned green beans, canned cream of mushroom soup, and then just like fried onions on top. Like I don't even know how people throw it together.
Right.
Like where did this come from? It's just like when mom's going through the pantry and she just finds a couple cans of leftovers.
Who created this thing?
Yeah. It's like, and it's just like,
And why does it work?
It's amazing. Yeah. Well, it's amazing what just the condensed can of cream of mushroom soup can do with like anything.
Yes.
Like it's amazing. You can add it with rice, and it's amazing. You add it with chicken, amazing. I was like, what can this not do? Like I'm confused. Like I don't know. Cream of mushroom.
It's that magic ingredient.
Added. Yeah.
If anybody's listening and they're stuck on an ingredient, on like what to add next, cream of mushroom soup can't go wrong. Don't care what it is.
You can mix it. You can mix it with like pasta. If you had like the meat in it and you're out of marinara, just cream of mushroom
There you
soup.
go.
Bam. It's there. It's yeah.
Done and done. That is
Yeah.
the green bean casserole is actually my number 3.
Huh,
Yes.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yep. And I like to take a classic dish. Both Grace and I are big culinary people. So I've made a lot of these, myself too. And I like it, but I do like to step it up every once in a while. I've used a combination of fresh steamed green beans and fresh mushrooms, but you still do the whole like French, fried onions and the cream mushroom soup.
Right.
You can't get around that, but like you can dress these things up a little bit, and they're still really good.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, there's just something about it. I only make that thing typically around Thanksgiving, maybe for like a Christmas family kind of get together, but it's generally a holiday dish, which I don't really know why. Like a lot of these dishes, you just only have them once a year, even though they're really good. Like I would make a green bean casserole tomorrow. I'd probably have it for dinner or something like that. But I never do. I only make it once a year. But yeah, man, the green bean casserole, classic dish. Can't go wrong with that one.
Yeah. It is so good. My kind of 3 through 1, I was like, I was debating on like the order for this, but number 3, I'm putting stuffing. I feel like stuffing can go one of two ways. It can either be like dry and just suck, or it can just be so dang good for me. It just it depends. It's hit and miss sometimes.
Yep.
And I don't even terribly mind some of the box stuff. Some of the box stuff is fine. But yeah, I don't know. I feel like, the stuffing's essentially just bread. I mean, it's day-old bread, basically. Cooked
right?
With like the turkey seasoning and
Yep.
everything. But I don't know. I think it pairs well with like some of the other sides. It adds a little more solidness to some of the sides that aren't quite as solid, and so it just kind of I don't know. It's there and it's not that hard to make, and so I am a fan of it.
So there it is. So interestingly enough, that is my number 2.
Okay.
Stuffing, but here's the caveat again. So this is one of those things, and you're kind of touching on it. There's the easy way. You just grab a box and make it, and I'm totally good with that. Although you got to use a stock. You at least boil it up with like the legit stock. It makes some kind of flavor. If you don't just add to water, right? But yeah, essentially, right. It's just like day old bread. But I made this stuffing one year, and it was like legit stuffing. I took like an old like French baguette that I got from across the street, and broiled that and like really crisped that up, and then croutoned that up. And I made this stuffing with some stock and then sweet potatoes and bacon and some other spices and whatnot. And this thing actually turned out really good. And I stuffed it in the bird, but I also had enough that I left over and just baked. So it got nice and like really kind of like crispy, kind of on top. So there's,
Nice.
I like it because you can run the gamut with it. You can just go one way and it's fine, or you can really kind of like put some different ideas together, and depending on like the turkey or the style of meal you want, you can actually get a decent stuffing out of it.
Yeah.
But again, like I drown these things with gravy, stuffing too. So
Uh-huh.
the only way for me, like the only real reason why I like stuffing in general is like I gotta have some gravy element to it.
Oh yeah. Otherwise, it can start to get dry.
Yeah, real quick.
All right, my number 2 is I'm throwing in a curveball. I'm guess this might not be on your list at all, but I'm gonna say good mac and cheese.
Nice, yeah.
I like a good macaroni and cheese during Thanksgiving. It became more of a thing when I was with somebody who's from Georgia, and that was like just mac and cheese was a big Southern thing, and I like a solid just mac and cheese. I'm a big fan of using the seashell shaped noodles and not the elbow macaroni because the shells absorb. They take in more cheese.
Yeah, you get a little pocket
So
of cheese in there.
I don't understand how the elbow has commanded the mac and cheese market. It's just like why the shell like takes it in. Like the shell takes it and it likes
Exactly.
it. It's
Exactly.
It's like, and so I don't know. And I like using a few different kinds of cheese, and then you get some like the nice crust on the top of it, and it's just
It's another one of those sides where like you can go simple with it and I'm absolutely fine, or you can go all out and I'm like, yeah, this is awesome too, even better. Totally
Yeah.
agree on this on the
just one-
style of pasta though.
yeah. And it's just one of those things. I feel like okay, there's not a lot of cheese during Thanksgiving for some reason. Cheese, you need cheese, man.
You gotta have cheese. Dude.
I like cheese.
Yeah.
But before you get to your number 1, what are sides that you would just we gotta get rid of? Like, why is this here?
Got to get rid of them. For me, I've never been a fan of this. The cranberry sauce from the can. I don't know why this is a thing.
I have cranberry sauce listed too. It's like
Why is it a
and,
thing?
you know, I have an idea. I was thinking. I was like, I bet I know why cranberry sauce is actually a thing for Thanksgiving or the holidays. I think it's from back in the day when people would get so sauced they didn't end up just like randomly hooking up with people, and then they didn't want to get UTIs, so they needed some kind of cranberry thing on hand.
Man,
Like, just eat the cranberry sauce, bam, because you're having just dirty, sloppy turkey sex, and then so you had to just like okay. The doctor's office is closed, man. We can't get any medication for this.
Got you
Cranberry
covered.
sauce.
We got
Man.
the cranberry sauce. It apparently got
Yeah.
so bad that they had to start canning it just so you could kind of have it on hand.
That just like the jello-y like bloop.
I hate it with the little ridges on there.
Yeah,
My
yeah.
favorite presentation of the cranberry sauce is literally just like opening the can up, turning it upside down, and serving it just like straight up vertical, like it just is
Yeah.
full in that can.
Yeah, I love the ridges. Just make it. It's just yeah, cranberry sauce. I just don't.
I don't get it. It just, for me, it remains untouched for the most part. Nobody's really grabbing
Yeah.
the stuff.
No one's eating that except like grandma. Like only grandma's. still
Somehow
eating
she
it.
loves it.
Yeah.
Maybe it's exactly like you said, dude. She's just harkening back to like some steamy, rendezvous she had way back in the day.
Yeah, the wishbone pulling it apart. That used to mean something else when you lost.
Oh.
It's like okay,
Right.
all right, break out the cranberry sauce.
Yes. What's another one you got on your list?
I just pretty much put like any kind of salad.
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
why are you even wasting my time
Yep.
here? Like,
Thanksgiving is
seriously.
not the holiday for salad. It's like
Yeah.
the anti-salad. If there was ever an anti-salad holiday, this is the one.
yeah, it's like we already took all the croutons and baked it into the stuffing,
Yes.
so we don't need that.
Right.
Then the green leaves, get that out of here. We have a green bean casserole that's already slathered in cream and mushrooms and fried onions. So just take that all away. Like, what are you doing? Like, and there's always the one person that brings a salad if you do like a potlucky kind of thing with like
God.
family members. Like,
Yep.
what the hell did you
Why
do?
is the salad here?
Did you, like, damn it, Jimmy, did you forget today was Thanksgiving, so you just took whatever you had in the fridge and threw it together? Yeah, I thought so. Like, you are banished from this family.
Give me your beer and you go sit over there and think about it for a little bit. Nobody's
Yeah.
eating the
I would have
salad.
rather you not bring anything. Like, then at least,
That's
fine.
right. You would have come in here with nothing, and you would have told me that, hey, man, it was between nothing or a salad, and I chose nothing. I'm like hugging you and high-fiving you right now.
Yeah, it's a good job. You made the right decision because
Nobody's wasting food, and nobody wants your salad bullshit right now.
yeah. What do you feel about desserts? Like, desserts are kind of iffy because it's like, do you even make it to dessert? Because you have so much just like, man, I got to go back seconds for those mac and cheese or stuffing. Like, I got to get the I even like noodles. Like my grandma makes like homemade noodles.
Nice, yes.
It's just like, okay, like why, like what do you do for or are there like, what do you do for desserts, or is this your top one? And if it is, then we can.
It's not my top one because I don't make it to the dessert usually. There's always plenty of dessert, which I never understood really. Usually if it's just my family, like my wife, myself, my daughter, and maybe just a couple friends, we'll always kind of have a pumpkin pie on hand. But if it's like a big family thing, like there's the pumpkin pie and somebody's made like a ton of cookies, and I've even had like sheet cake coming out of the woodworks on some occasions. I'm just like, how, like, why is there so many sweets? I can't make it to this.
There might be a pecan pie
Yeah,
down
somewhere.
It's just like,
And then I'm always guilted into eating these sweets, and I'm not like a big sweet kind of a person anyway. I'm like a bite guy. I'm like, just give me don't get me wrong, I like a dessert, but I'm like really, after a really good meal, morsel size piece for me, and I'm like, awesome, good to go. But like, I've got people trying to like shove down 3 different kinds of pie, and I'm like, I can't even really handle one of these right now.
yeah. I do. I mean, I like that it's like a pie kind of thing. Because for me, I like pie better than cake, personally.
Oh yeah, I'm with you there.
But so I appreciate that we got some pies going on. But still, it's just like, do you know what else is around? Or who brought the Jell-O with the banana slices in it? Like, who did that?
Right.
Really?
You don't need it.
Or the little micro marshmallows. It's just like, I mean, okay, I guess it's better than the banana slices, but I'm still a little confused here.
Yeah, I don't know what's happening with this.
Like, and that's a lot of Jell-O. Like, you took like the angel cake pan and you did that all in Jell-O. Like, that's a lot
That's
of
a
Jell-O,
lot.
man.
Exactly. If I do a dessert, it is definitely like a thin sliver of some kind of a pie, and I'm okay with that. But I need some downtime. I usually have taken a nap between the meal and other things before I'm even thinking about dessert.
Right. Man, you need to start putting some vodka into those giant Jell-O things.
See?
It's like not tell anyone.
All,
like,
all Thanksgiving meal.
Oops.
Ribs and giant Jell-O mold, but it's really a giant Jell-O mold shot.
Yeah. See, this is the Friendsgiving that everyone's
That
missing out
is
on.
it. That is it. Yes.
It's like, I like, why you like, so why are you making yourself like your 4th Thanksgiving meal? Eventually, you're just gonna get tired of all the same food.
Yes.
It's like,
Do
you
something
gotta switch it up.
different.
You gotta switch it up. If you're doing Friendsgiving, bring the ribs. You'll be the hero.
Yes.
You will bring the hero. Or it's like, dude, you brought some chicken wings.
What?
What? That's awesome.
Altsgiving.
Because
I want to name this
Yeah.
Altsgiving. I hate the phrase alt-right or alt-left or whatever. I'm taking alt back. I want alt
Yeah.
again. I want an alt Thanksgiving, and you get to do basically whatever you want. It's no holds barred. Ribs, nuggets, boxed wine. I don't care. Just
Let's just call it Altsgiving.
Yeah,
Not even
right.
like, ditch the thanks. It's just Altsgiving.
Altsgiving.
Because maybe we're not even thankful. Maybe we're just like, this year blew, man. This is the alternate of whatever.
Yes, right.
Altsgiving.
I think if anybody else is out there with an alt-giving menu, I want to hear it.
We're gonna we should come up with something in one of these episodes. So what time of the should Altsgiving be between Thanksgiving and Christmas where you're just so sick of everything? Or is it like post Christmas where you just like want all holiday stuff to die?
Oh man, that is a good question. I feel like you're more apt to have a better Altsgiving just in the mix of everything rather than it being like a post-mortem.
Right. Okay, yeah. So this is like it saves you from all the holiday stuff, at least for a night.
At least for a night. It lets you regroup. It's your regroup night.
Yeah.
It's like, this sucks. I hate this. Why is this happening?
Yeah.
Oh, don't worry about it because Altsgiving is tomorrow and everything's going to be
Yeah.
okay.
We got some Tostitos pizza rolls,
Yeah.
and it's just like this is gonna be on point,
Right.
man. On point.
Vodka jelly,
Yes.
angel food cake mold.
Yes.
That, I want
need
that.
We need to do this where like everything you think of the holidays, and we just go for the opposite.
Complete
Like,
opposite.
it's
The complete
just
opposite.
the
Yes.
opposite. Yeah. It's like, well, what is it like? We got Chinese food. It's just like
It is. It's like everything that you just would not want to have here. That's what.
yeah.
That's what
We got some ribs. We got some lo mein. We got some. What do you got over there? Some.
we got a
Indian-
bucket of
okay, I don't even know. Yeah, a bucket of jungle juice or a bucket of burgers with the jungle juice.
Yeah.
It's just
Yes.
yeah, we're gonna have to do an episode of just our alts giving. This is gonna be like the Festivus, but for food.
Yes, exactly. You could have Altsgiving can occur on a Festivus night. There's nothing against that.
I like it. So all right, what is your? I'm so confused.
Oh yeah, back to the
Number one,
drum
number
roll
three.
on the number one side
Yeah.
for me is again it's everybody. It's one of my favorites. It's not going to be any kind of surprise, but it is the legit mashed potato for me. Is like my number one side.
Oh yeah, mine too. I mean, was there ever really like a question?
They're
mark about
it's the Duke of of sides in the basketball tournament of Thanksgiving. That's
Yeah.
really what it is.
Yeah.
You know, I'm not
Of course, the great thing is there's so many ways you can kind of like make it a little different.
totally. Yeah, that's
So-
the thing. It's versatile.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah. So how do you like your mashed potatoes?
okay, so my recipe is it starts with just like some standard russet potatoes. I cube them and I keep some of the skin on because I do kind of like the skin. It's not all like straight up, clean potatoes. Boil those in some salted water and then just super simple butter, salt. I like to throw sour cream in there. And then mix it up. Sometimes I'll throw some cheese in there, just to make it
Okay.
I like to use either like Parmesan or whatever you got on hand, really shredded stuff. But yeah, just hand mashed. Not really, it's sort of like that blizzard type consistency, right? You should flip the bowl over upside down and nothing's gonna come out.
Right. Yeah. I can dig it. I like to when I'm making it. Actually, I'll go with the red potatoes.
Yeah.
I like the red potatoes. I don't skin them because I like the skin on the red potatoes. I like the color it brings. And while that's like boiling, I will take garlic heads, cut them just straight in half, and I'll roast the garlic head.
Oh, nice.
And so be like the garlic heads or whatever when they get like I don't know after they baked a while, it gets so soft you can just like they'll like melt in your
Yep.
mouth. So because you drizzle it with the olive oil, whatever. And so I'll add that the garlic heads after into the potatoes, and then the butter and the salt and either the sour cream. Sometimes I'll do just like whipping cream or
Yep,
something. You
yep.
gotta have some kind of dairy in it to kind of otherwise just straight potatoes can be a little
It can
bland.
be, yeah. It can be. I've had those before, and
real
real
bland,
bland.
yeah. Actually, and sometimes a lot of times I'll put in some extra garlic powder into it, just to. I like them. I like it garlicky, and Cheese, it depends on the mood. Do I feel like a cheese kind of day? Do I have enough cheese in the mac and cheese that I also made so I don't need cheese in it?
Right.
You know, it's kind of whatever. I made it once, some some mashed potatoes earlier this year when I was making my ribs, and I had some leftover of my homemade barbecue sauce, and I just mixed a little bit of the barbecue sauce into the mashed potatoes while I was making it up. That was actually real good because it added a little like kind of
Oh yeah, that sounds
and
good.
so you had like a little vinegary kick to it, but also you still had the garlic and like the dairy, whatever. But that's what I love about mashed potatoes. It's just so many like you can totally just experiment with it, and as long as you don't over salt it, you really can't screw.
You really
it up.
can't. No.
I mean, once you put too much salt in it, you're kind of screwed. Like, okay, I can't really back that.
More potatoes is really the only thing that's gonna get you around that.
Yeah, it's like, okay, yeah, shoot. You can't really put too much cheese in. It's really hard to put too much garlic in, at least for me.
It is. I agree. I mean,
but-
and I'm a garlic fan, so I mean, other people might disagree, but I do
Yeah.
like some garlic in the mashed potatoes for sure.
What do you feel about chive? You like chive in
I
it?
do. I like some chive. I usually put it on top after it's already like kind of
Okay.
finished.
Nice. I wonder what it would be like where if instead of mixing with like the sour cream, if you just poured like a whole bunch of ranch in. I wonder what that would be
I
like.
bet it'd be fine.
I mean, what does ranch not taste
Exactly.
good with?
You've got potatoes and ranch. I mean, I think it's gonna work out just fine.
Your heart might stop, but you know what
You know
do
what?
do?
I think the better option might be a little bit is the ranch packet, and then with maybe some whipping
yeah,
cream
yeah.
and mixing that up.
Yes.
Yeah.
That'd be better. Yeah, yeah. I wonder if you could use like the ranch powder that you get for like popcorn, like the seasoning.
Yeah.
You just kind of pour
Oh, I
that
think you absolutely could.
in. Yeah. There was. Speaking of like heart possibly exploding, I picked up originally for a video. We were gonna do this thing where you have your eyes closed and the other person puts something in your mouth and you have to kind of guess what it
Yeah.
is.
Yeah.
And apparently the stuff I got was a little too mean. Because my first intention was I'm going straight to the Asian store and picking up the weirdest stuff I can possibly find. And some of the stuff I found was let's see, duck embryos, like gelatinous duck embryos. Like they weren't like actual just solid.
Yeah, yeah.
These were like you did science experiment in first grade, and it's like kind of like woo 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 like jello-y. And then I got some pork brain.
Oh yeah, nice.
And-
Wow.
I gotta tell you what, pork brain is
It is the worst
It
part
is
of the pig.
so gross. And it's just like, so I had like carved out like a little whatever, and I mean I cooked it. We weren't don't need anyone dying off of know, raw.
You're not eating raw pork brain.
pork. Well, I thought about it too, like I was going to, but I also had like raw chicken feet, whatever. I was like, well, probably not a good idea to start giving them raw, whatever.
Are you supposed to eat it raw?
I have no idea. I mean, I cooked it up. It smelled weird.
I mean, I wouldn't. Like, let me just like clarify. I would never eat it raw. But if it
Right.
was so bad, I wonder if maybe it's one of those like weird delicacies where it's just not supposed to be cooked. Look, the pig, we thought it was a perfect animal. Obviously, it's not. Pork brain, stay away from it.
Yeah. Well, this is okay. This is the thing that got me. So as I'm like trying to because I'm like, okay, I'm gonna at least try it if I'm gonna make somebody else do it. So you're looking through it like, okay, there's some solid protein in this, whatever, 10 grams of protein. I actually just brought it up so I can remember for 3 ounces. And then I got to the cholesterol. I'm gonna let you take a wild stab at what you think. How much cholesterol is in
Cool.
3 ounces of pig brain?
Oh man. Daily intake percentage is it like 46%?
Oh man, let's see if I can find out what your daily intake is. It just said what it daily.
I don't even know what.
Okay, let's see what the. Okay, so your daily recommended intake of cholesterol is 300
Okay.
milligrams.
Okay.
Okay. The amount of cholesterol in 3 ounces of pig brains is 2,169 milligrams of cholesterol.
How is that even legal to sell?
I like that's like 1,000% of your daily cholesterol right
Right.
there.
Like, could you feel your heart just like completely like
A
hardening
little
up?
bit. I felt like my chest was just hurting, and I was like, "Oh man, no wonder."
Uh,
Like, how do people? This is like, if I was just like a fatty and just sat down and ate the entire thing, I would have died. I literally would have
Right.
died because that would have been like 30,000% of my daily cholesterol.
you know the scene.
It's like,
You know the scene in The Princess Bride, the poison scene,
uh
and they're like going back and forth with the cop or whatever, and yada yada.
huh.
That's what it was.
Yeah.
He didn't build up an immunity to any particular poison. They were just drinking straight up pork brains.
Probably.
He just was in
It's
such
just like-
peak condition that it didn't affect him as well as it affected
Yeah,
the other guy.
yeah. That thing just absolutely blew my mind.
That is insane. That's insanity.
Yeah, I had never seen anything like that high.
2,000 2,000 milligrams. Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Noticeably.
But the's no carbs. No carbs.
Oh, there you
though.
go.
No
See?
carbs.
So
So it
round it out.
is Atkins diet friendly.
It is. Technically, it is. Pork brain. Put it on your
eating all day?
Thanksgiving sides list.
I don't even think I could do that. I just, ugh.
Pork brain's going to be. It's not even making Altsgiving.
No pork brain for Altsgiving. But yeah, I think so. All right, that is basically our show. After we finish our pork brain,
Ended on pork brain. Yes.
yeah, somehow that's what we got to. We're gonna have to figure out more, but we're gonna figure out more for what to do with our Altsgiving. Because this is definitely something that I feel it needs to happen.
Yes. Yeah, I think so.
We'll have to, the first annual or Altsgiving. Just like everything's gonna be crazy. But yeah, we'll figure out what our next episode is gonna be. We haven't really talked about it yet, but it'll be fan freaking tastic. That's all I know.
Right.
Plus, we can talk about all the movies coming out in the next month.
There's
and
a
half.
bunch, man.
There's gonna be some sweet stuff. We'll have to touch up on the new Justice League.
Oh boy.
Movie. I have never been a fan of Justice League stuff. I always thought it was stupid when Batman and Superman got together. Ever since as a kid, I just did not like that. I did not think they got well. They just didn't mesh.
It doesn't. And it's too dark. We'll get into this, on a later episode, but it's just not DC anyway.
Yeah, and Superman's not like Batman style. It's totally different. But yeah, we'll get into that later because we could do another 2 hours just talking about that right now. But so yeah, later episode we'll get into all that good stuff. But this is going to be coming out right before Thanksgiving, so we'll probably catch you on the flip side of Thanksgiving. So hopefully all you guys enjoy that and are enjoying back, into season 2 of Two Dudes in a Six Pack. If you guys got any comments or anything, for right now, again, we're posting it on YouTube. I still got to figure out what's going on with the porting, so that might still be another month or so down the road. But hopefully we'll get our RSS feed back up in action.
Nice.
And so everyone that isn't hearing it now will be hearing it now, and there'll be just plenty of delicious two dudes to take in.
Just take it from those two dudes.
Yeah. You're gonna take it and you're gonna like
Yes. Man. Oh boy. Pig brains right into that. That's where we'll
it. Yeah.
our friendly
Where we'll leave you. Yeah, well, Chris, you got anything else to say?
I can't top anything else after that. No, I'm good. I hope everybody has
All
a
right.
decent Thanksgiving, obviously, And And yeah, like Grayson said, interact with us. Let us know what we are doing right or wrong, and what you guys like, and we'll adapt to you.
Yeah, and just like, subscribe to the YouTube channel, so then when we get the feedback up, we can post, let you guys know more. But it's actually, honestly pretty easy to just like message or post stuff on YouTube. It's almost easier to do it that way, to let us know what you guys like or don't like, and we could finish that. And we're gonna have to get some more Chuck Norris quote of the weeks or something quote of the weeks up to finish this, but it gets a little tricky on YouTube because they like to flag
They
everything
do.
once you start
Yeah.
using quotes. So it's easier when we get stuff back onto our feed, we'll be able to add in some more music and sound effects and everything, because otherwise we'll just be getting flagged nonstop on YouTube. So there'll be like 2 different versions eventually. But yeah, for now, that is our episode 2.2. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Have an awesome Thanksgiving, and we will discuss more about Altsgiving on the flip side. So, for myself and for Chris, we will catch you guys later. See ya. Thanks for listening. All original music is by Kevin MacLeod and can be found at incompetech.com. If you can, please rate, review, and spread the word of 2 Dudes and a Six Pack.